is the actual word for meditation in Sanskrit is dhyana. Okay, so the word dhyana. But what actually we are doing today, when we call it meditation, is dharana. So the sattva guna is given more importance because it brings in alignment. It brings in some kind of a equanimity between the two. Okay, look at it intently and with all the love and the alignment that you can bring in your chakras. Okay, look at it and then close your eyes and visualize that inside you.
Today we speak about Dharana, the sixth limb of yoga. Shubha explains the concept of Dharana, how we can practice it correctly, and some tweaks to the widely accepted ways of practicing Dharana. Also, stay tuned right up until the end for the Mindbender Challenge, and please feel free to participate. Welcome back to today's episode. Today we speak about Dharana.
Okay.
So what is Dharana?
Okay, dharana is where actually what people nowadays call as meditation is what actually, or I may say, dharana is what actually people call today as meditation. I mean, meditation. The word meditation is actually dharana. Okay, not dhyana. Dhyana is actual meditation. But today, like what people call meditation is actually dharana. Okay, that's the difference. So the idea is
Because dharana and dhyana, they're a bit confusing, at least for me.
yes.
I find, but now I understand what you're trying to say. So, okay.
So now, normal people, when they're doing meditation, they think they're doing meditation, but which is the actual word for meditation in Sanskrit is dhyana. Okay, so the word dhyana. But what actually we are doing today, when we call it meditation, is dharana. Okay, now what is dharana? Dharana is like creating something, with its shape, creating as it is shape, form, sound. So it's creating something with our mind. So that creation could have been done by somebody else or it could be yours. So what we call it as visualization as well nowadays. Okay, visualizing something. So this visual meditation, visualization and creating something that we can focus on. Okay, so now last time we spoke about pratyahara, where we are withdrawing our senses. Yes, so withdrawing our senses. Now from there, what do you focus on? Okay, you're saying you withdraw it. Now next, what? We withdraw a sense, we do it. Now what is the purpose of the withdrawal? Okay, what are we now focusing on after that? We talk about finding that peace and coming closer to your body, going within. For a lay person, what are we focusing on? Okay, so here we are talking completely from the point of view of a lay person who understands yoga a little bit here and there, who's practicing a little bit of yoga. Maybe they're practicing for years, but haven't got into the depth of it, whatever it is. So we are not talking about saints and yogis and all that. Okay, we're just talking about normal humans who are trying to live a life right now. So what do you focus on? Okay, there's so many things that, as we were talking about last time, there are too many things that we can focus on. So that creating that shape, that form, and the sound, which is helping you to bring your concentration on something. Now this is where the focus can be, like if you start visualizing, like it could be anything. Children can focus on online games. They can focus on a football. Men can focus on a football match. Even if you go and shake them up, they won't realize. Women can focus on the beautiful things of the world, whether it is fashion or whether it is any kind of. So we women get carried away by that. So we all have our ways of focusing on something. If nothing else, then we say, okay, we read a book, okay, or we watch a movie, or if so. Now this is where you remember we spoke about the attributes, the sattva guna, the raja guna, and the tama guna. Okay, this is where it comes in. So in dharana, the idea is to find something which balances these attributes. Okay, for the lay person, you can't, if you focus on the tamasic, which is the tamasic is the static. Okay, if it's too static, it can dull your mind. Okay, if it's too dynamic, it can make you hyper. So the sattva guna is what balances the dynamic and the static. Okay, the ratio between the two is like, there has to be a little bit of tamasic. Actually, tamas is a little bit, staticness is a little bit more than like you can have stillness. For example, how I'm going to explain that stillness is like, you can have a lot of stillness, calm water. Okay, but if there's a stormy water, you can only last for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, not more than that. Okay, so the dynamic part has to be less, the ratio has to be less than the static. So we talk about tamasic as bad. Okay, everybody says, oh, tamas means it's like evil, the shadow side of you, and the demon in you, blah blah, whatever it is. It's not. It's the static part of you, which is the universe. It's the base on which, like, this universe is standing. There is that stillness there. Okay, it holds the universe, the staticness, what we also call as Purusha. So that has to be there. That has to be, the ratio has to be more. And the sattva guna is the intent. So the intent is what actually helps to kind of bring an equilibrium between the tamasic and the rajaguna. Both are needed for a function, any kind of function in this world. Okay, it's a very functional attribute. So the problem, we make it about good and bad and the ugly. So it's nothing to do with that. All the three elements are required in this world. All the three attributes are required. So now when you understand these are the three attributes, so the intent, okay, of forming the shapes or the creation that you have, to what you focus on, has to be based on sattva guna. Why sattva? Sattva, which is the equanimity we were talking about. Sattva is what brings stability between the dynamic and the static. So the sattva guna is given more importance because it brings in alignment. It brings in some kind of a equanimity between the two, between all the attributes. Okay, so if you have that, then the intention set is right. So the intent on what the shape or the form or what you're focusing on becomes universally productive, universally constructive, universally positive, universally enhancing our consciousness, not in the opposite direction. So that is where the dharana comes in. So the form, the shape that you focus on, okay, is very, very important. And the mind has been for the whole, I'll just go through the 8 limbs till dharana. So now the intention, which is the first thing, yama, has been created. The second, the discipline you're trying to follow to a large extent. Asanas, which is, because asana and dharana are also very connected, because asana is thiram sukham asanam. It's, if there's no stillness, okay, there is no further progress. There is no way that if you in an asana you are in pain, Okay, and then you can have equanimity. There's no way. So that is why you practice the yogasanas, and then you go into shavasana. When you release all those torturous feeling, you relax your body and then sit again, and then you meditate. Okay, shavasana is not about sleeping off or whatever it is, like the way it has been. It's basically to
So there's
kind
a
of
very solid purpose for the reason of
reason for it.
Shavasana at the end of a class.
Yes. So because asana you've twisted and turned your body into, whatever the pain or whatever it is, you've done your bit, and then you go into shavasana. You relax all that, you let go of all those connection that you have with the body, and then you sit up and then you start meditating. That is how. So shavasana is maximum for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, not more than that. But shavasana is not the end of a class. It is just because it's practiced that way, so that again, it's a practice. Okay, you break it down, in few things, and then you do it. So then you sit for your alternate nostril breathing, and then you can do your meditation. So asana is stillness. So if that stillness is not there in your pose, okay, then the prana won't move properly. Now, if the prana doesn't move properly, there's no way you can think about withdrawing your sense and, understanding your space and your zone and your aura, and there's nothing. It doesn't happen. So once you've crossed that line also of pratyahara, of withdrawing your senses, is when you come to a dharana, which is loosely translated as concentration, focus. Okay. But I would say that it's visualization. Okay. Seeing a form which you can focus on. Okay. For normal humans also, when we talk about manifestation and visualization, that is why clarity has to be there. So you visualize something and then you look at it. Okay, for example, if we say you make a vision board and you look at it and then close it and keep it. They don't keep saying you keep looking at it 24/7. They say you look at it nicely and deeply in alignment. You look at it and then forget about it. That's exactly what it is. So when you even focus on the flame, for example, you have the tratka, which is like, focusing on the flame, which is a part of dharana. That is nowadays known as the main exercise for dharana. Okay, is the flame, focusing on the flame. But if you keep focusing on something external, now we've already spoken about the withdrawal of the senses. So in dharana, if you again start going outward, how does that help? It does not help. But there is a nice bridge between pratyahara and dharana. So pratyahara can overlap into dharana by keeping a flame or keeping something that you can focus on, the image of a god, of a deity, of something that you want to achieve. Okay, something. Then you have a eye full of it. Okay, look at it intently and with all the love and the alignment that you can bring in your chakras. Okay, look at it and then close your eyes and visualize that inside you. So that is when in manifestation, what do they say? You need to feel it. You need to see it. You need to feel it inside. And that's when it happens. Be it, So, but here this is like you need to see it inside you. Okay, so it comes in the next one. But this time you have to see it inside you first. That's not an easy task. So even seeing the deity and all that, people think about, okay, Om, I see this, I see that. This is all our mind. Okay, this is just our mind doing its job, because we have decided this is what we want to do. So we visualize what we want, we connect with it. So that's why creating that form is very important. So even the vision board, you can't just create random things. It can happen. I'm not saying it cannot. But you need to connect with it. If you want that to become, you want to become a part of it, or you want that to become a part of it, you need to connect with that. So creating that outwardly, whatever you've created, is the work during pratyahara. You do it, and during dharana, it's a momentary thing that you watch. You look at it. You look at it intently, and then you kind of close your eyes. Okay, close your senses, and then visualize it inside you. So that flame also, you visualize it inside you. And the best thing is to visualize in your heart, because that's the easiest way to do it. So people think about third eye and all that, but for a lay person, it's the heart chakra, because the heart chakra has to be, it's base it in the heart, and visualize it on your chest first. Because again, going inward, it's easy to say, okay, visualize it inside you. Where to visualize it? It's easy. It's only when you start practicing, these words become easy. But for somebody who doesn't understand this, it's not easy. So I would like also to advise people that it's always better to focus on your heart. So chest area, okay, if you understand your heart, chest area, you plant that image on your chest area. When I say chest, when you close your eyes.
Why the heart area instead of the
Because the
third
heart,
eye?
because the heart is one of the most vulnerable areas. The moment you allow it to open, it doesn't take too. It's not very difficult for it. That's why I said the connect. Your connect has to be there, with that image, with that thing that you. Now you're watching a flame and you have no connection with that flame. It's not going to help you. And then you go straight away, take it to your third eye. Okay, it's a disconnect by itself. You're doing it technically, mechanically. Whereas when you know what you're focusing on, that's why deities were there, and images of God was there, or scriptures were there, even a book, sometimes a holy book is enough, even that. So that you take it and place it in your heart chakra, because the moment you say heart, already your system kind of, accepts it. But third eye becomes like as if we are doing something extraordinary. Okay, so already your mind is like on a high. Okay, so we need to keep it simple as it. So keep it in your heart chakra. Okay, keep it in your heart area, chest area. Keep that image there. Close your eyes, keep focusing on. Because as it focuses, it will turn into something else. That is different. But dharana is that. It's not just externalizing. People say, okay, I'll keep that Om there and I'll keep looking at it. That's my focus. No, that's not what dharana. Dharana is taking an image or a concept or an idea or a scripture or a mantra or a sound, or it could be anything, because like the visualization or creation from the senses. Okay, now listen carefully. The withdrawal of the senses. Okay, we spoke about pratyahara last time. So the five senses create things. Okay, the way they have seen it, and they also have a connection to it. What you like, your looks and your likes and not like. So it's easier for you to connect with that. So in dharana, you've created that image, and that image or that sound or that form or that shape, it could be anything. Shape also, we talk about, pyramids, we talk about, geometrical figures, we talk about deities, we talk about scripture, we talk about mantras, we talk about prayers, we talk about sound, which is, sound healing is a part of it, but own sound like Om and other sounds that we make. It could be any of those, the five senses. It could be any of those. So you create that clear image in front of you, and then you close your eyes and bring it to your heart chakra. That is where the dharana starts happening. Okay, then you are at peace if you followed all the other steps, of course, which is important, because these things cannot be from pratyahara. Okay, the technique goes out of the window. After that, there's
So
no more.
dharana is, so what I understand is that dharana helps us train our focus essentially, or rather zone in to what we need to, based based off of all the feedback that we are getting. Because we've used pratyahara to train ourselves,
Yeah,
to
pratyahara,
withdraw,
you
and then
take. Yes.
dharana to focus on whatever it is that you want to focus. Because
Focus. Yeah.
sometimes even when you're manifesting, you want to think about something, but your brain takes you here and there.
Yes.
So that is what we are avoiding, basically.
Yes. Okay.
It's our ability to focus intensely on what we want.
And
It helps.
but what you
So
want
dharana
has to
helps
be,
us
you
with
have to be
that.
careful as to what you want. Okay.
Yes.
So it's very,
Yes.
I want to reiterate that,
Yeah,
because
be
sometimes
careful what you be careful what you wish for.
wish for, exactly. So I have to bring in that quote in between, because otherwise, people get whatever you want. Okay, that's not what dharana is all about. Dharana is about sattvic. It has to be the right thing. So you whatever you need, that is where you start. The concept and the visualization, everything is taken inward. Okay, all these manifestation gurus have all spoken, law of attraction, have spoken about it, that you have to feel it. You have to see it inside you first for it to manifest. This is what dharana is. You first see it inside you. That ability to be completely, to see that inside you actually takes you towards dhyana.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So that really puts things in perspective when I think of dharana now. Yeah. So I think now we have to start the mind bender challenge.
Yeah, okay. All right. So are you ready for it?
Yeah. Hopefully, let's see.
Okay, let me keep it simple. Okay. All right. So the first question. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Which limb of yoga involves withdrawing the senses from the stimuli to cultivate inner focus?
Okay.
From external stimuli to cultivate inner focus. A.
Okay.
Asana. B. Pranayama. C. Pratyahara. And D. Niyama.
The answer is pratyahara.
Oh, great. Good. I'm glad you remembering all this. Okay, question number 2. In yoga philosophy, what is the primary objective of dharana? A. Achieving physical flexibility. B. Attaining deep meditative absorption. C. Developing focused concentration. And D. Practicing moral observance.
It's developing a focus concentration.
Fantastic. Okay. A student.
I got confused for a little bit, but
You've always been an A-star student, so yeah, it reflects. Okay. Question number 3. Yeah. During meditation,
yeah.
which limb of yoga focuses on directing attention to a single point of object? Okay. A. Pranayama. B. Asana. C. Dharana. And D. Santosha.
I think it's dharana.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Okay, great.
So
Okay.
we're done with the
So,
well done. You getting it, which is very, very. I
Yeah.
feel very happy about
Yeah.
it. That
Yeah.
if you people can get it, then nothing like it, because it's a fantastic.
No, definitely. I agree, because, and it's not something that is very easy to understand, I'll be honest, even if I go on Google and I start reading it, it is not very easy to understand as maybe other things are. So thank you so much for explaining it. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Yoga, Body and Mind podcast. If you like what you've just heard, please visit us on our website www.getyogue.com, and follow us on all our social media platforms for more content just like this. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment any questions that you might have for us. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any of our future episodes. Thank you once again, and see you next Wednesday.